If you want to scale your legal nurse consulting business, there's one thing you have to have, and it's very difficult to get for most legal nurses. That one thing is amazing subcontractors. Now, if you're a legal nurse consultant or you're thinking about being a legal nurse consultant and you know other legal nurse consultants who have crushed it and are amazing subcontractors, awesome. Hold on to them. Problem is, a lot of amazing subcontractors, well, they become business owners because they're really good at what they do. And it can be hard to know, where do I go to get subcontractors to help me scale my business? Now let me back up. If you're not familiar with this whole process and the way it works, you become a legal nurse consultant. It's very rare that you become a successful one. Outside of Catalyst Coaching and Mentoring, I know very few legal nurse consultants who are actually excelling as legal nurses. Inside Catalyst, it's actually quite routine, but I digress. Once you become a legal nurse consultant, typically the pathway is, at least in Catalyst, you get through your practice cases, you start subcontracting for yourself. So in other words, you are the subcontractor. You're working with legal nurse consultant business owners. Now within Catalyst, it's all self-contained. You're a subcontractor, you finished your practice cases, you know how to write the chronologies and reports. You're not sure how to run a business quite yet because you haven't been through that portion of the program, but others have. And we've got hundreds of nurses in the program. So you've got all these business owners feeding you cases. Now that can be a problem too if you are a legal nurse consultant out there and you're not wanting to run your own business. Finding legal nurses to give you cases can be very challenging. But then you proceed to stand up your business. We teach you how to do that. We teach you how to market yourself. And if you use our marketing strategy, typically within 1 to 4 weeks, you're going to be getting your own attorney clients. Again, very unusual, but this is what happens in Catalyst. Outside of Catalyst, way different story. But then now you've stood up your business, so you're getting your own attorney clients. Now in Catalyst, we're going to give you our contracts, teach you how to invoice, cost estimate tools, all that. Outside of Catalyst, you have to figure that out on your own. And unfortunately, there's there's some other programs out there, and there's a lot of nurses who go through those and they get out not only not knowing how to create a work product that's going to blow the socks off their attorney, not really understanding how to market, but also they don't understand business. And they don't understand how to grow and scale their business. Now in Catalyst, all that's taken care of, but once you get to the point where you're making that $150 an hour, which is what I charge, you can charge whatever you want, by getting cases from attorneys, you're in a good spot, right? $150 an hour. Here's where the crux is. You want to scale. And if you're like me, working an hour and getting paid for an hour, even if it's $150 an hour, not my dream job. I'm kind of done with trading time for money. So instead, what I want to do is I want to make money while I'm playing golf. I want to make money while I'm at my kids' events. So in order to do that, you have to be a smart and astute and successful business owner. So now, let's say I get 5 cases, and we get 5 cases a week very often. I got 5 cases. I'm charging the attorney $150 an hour. Now I've got a subcontractor I'm going to pay for each one of those cases to write the chronologies and reports. Say I'm going to pay them $50 an hour. Now I'm getting $100 an hour because I'm charging the attorney $150. I'm paying the sub $50. That leaves $100 an hour from me for every one of those 5 cases. So I'm essentially making $500 an hour, and other people are doing the work. Now, when that comes back to me, I have to review it, and I'm still doing a lot of work to get those attorney clients, to retain them, and to do all the back-end business stuff. But the actual chronology report, I'm not having to write. So I'm no longer trading time for money. But how do you find subcontractors that you can trust who do the work the same way you do? Well, to be honest, before Catalyst was born, I was struggling. I had a handful of subcontractors I was trying to use, but I was spending an inordinate amount of time correcting their work and honestly trying to train them on how I wanted it done before Catalyst was a thing. So it was very, very challenging. You can go out into the social media world, Instagram, Facebook, There's different groups out there, private or public, that's full of legal nurses. You can get on listservs, and maybe you'll find a couple of subs that you can take under your wing and teach to do the work the way that your attorneys expect it to be done through you, and potentially you can scale your business that way. But man, is that hard, and it's going to cost you so much time, energy, and money to do that training yourself. Now at Catalyst, you don't have that problem because like I said, we have this private community. You have to be a member of Catalyst to access, and it's constantly flowing. There's people who are coming in today. There are people who have been there for 3 to 6 months. There's people who's been there for 6 months to a year. There are people who have been there for multiple years and just stayed a member, because as you're coming through the program, like I said, you finish that third practice case, you then become a sub. So these business owners who were subs before are now using you as a subcontractor. You're making 40 to 60 bucks an hour. It's pretty good money. It's pretty good experience to be able to work with these nurses that you know, because they've been in the same program, same universe that you've been in this community. Then you get to become a business owner. Then when you're ready to subcontract, guess what? There's a constant flow of nurses coming through their third practice case, ready to start subcontracting. They do the work the way that you do the work. They were trained the same way you were trained. They've been through the same stripes that you've been through, so you know you can trust them to do the work the way your attorneys now expect them to be done, and you don't have to worry about where to find them. That, my friends, is one of the biggest challenges to scaling that I had prior to Catalyst. Now, that wasn't why I started Catalyst, but it's been a huge perk. My business, my legal nurse consulting business, has just been skyrocketing in work, and we never have to sweat, where are we going to find subcontractors? How are we going to do all this work? We never have to tell attorneys, no, we can't take that case because we don't have enough bandwidth. We always have the manpower because we have a community behind us. Guys, if you're out there and you're thinking, I want to do this, but I'm not sure where to start, please click on the free training below. Check that out. Check out what Catalyst is all about. Consider whether this is the community for you. If it's not, I'm not mad at you, but I want you to be successful. Not only successful in subbing, not only successful in running a business, I want you to be successful in scaling your business, to be able to make as much as you want and to make money when you're not even working. I hope this video was helpful. If you found it helpful, please subscribe to my channel so you don't ever miss any more training and information that I can give you about legal nurse consulting in the future.